Hello everyone, we're back. Is it day 5? I think it's day 5 of the festival. I thought I was big last night, I thought I was clever last night. I went to Barbarella's last night, I had an amazing time. It's actually the first time I've DJ'd at Barbarella's. Kenny Dope played after me and the Shapeshifters closed it. I had way too much fun. We're back, it's another day here, Defected Croatia. We're live at the Garden Resort in Tisno. My name, of course, is Melvo Baptiste. You can already hear my voice croaking up because of the amount I've been chatting and screaming and enjoying myself this very trip. Right, absolutely bundles to come on today's show. What I want to get into straight away, though, is this. Just yesterday, Melee, the boat party, had a very special guest join him live. Check this out. You gotta go for this drop. So yesterday we were joined live here on our sofa with Mele. I can probably announce that Mele missed his flight home. Shortly after the interview, he now has official legendary DJ status. But I think the boat party yesterday, which you just witnessed, Mele couldn't have wished for a better DJ to join him on that boat for that particular party. The way that Mele DJs, and Bob Sinclair wasn't just rocking up and playing a usual kind of party set, it was an Africanism special. 2001 was the year a whole bunch of French producers got together and mixers and put together a project where they worked with African artists entitled Africanism. It included Bob Sinclair, it included Eddie Amador, Martin Solveig, even David Guetta as well. They gave us some amazing music. So yeah, the vibes just yesterday on that boat were absolutely outrageous. Right, we're going to keep things moving today. John Summit, as mentioned, joined us for the very first time at Defected Croatia. He's been absolutely amazing. Check some of this stuff out.
And it's gonna make you jack around and play it on dirty techno, disco techno with a hooky beat, and it's gonna make you jump around and play it on repeat. It's a dirty techno, disco techno with a hooky beat, and it's gonna make you jump around and play it on repeat. It's a dirty techno, disco techno with a hooky beat, and it's gonna make you jump around and play it on repeat. It's a dirty techno, disco techno with a hooky beat, and it's gonna make you jump around and play it on repeat.
How good does it feel to be back? Honestly, 2020 was kind of a rough year, but for me, I took advantage of it with making a ton of tunes and everything too. And that's like when I had my first breakout hit was with Deep End with Defected. So I took advantage of the downtime, but now to be able to actually play the music in front of all the fans and stuff, the reaction has been ridiculous. Like, it's so much fun out here. So this is my first time ever playing in Europe right now. And I had honestly no expectations because I didn't know what to expect, because in America I do super well. Coming out here I was kind of nervous because I didn't know if people would have like the same reaction to my music and stuff. And then as soon as I got on, I played my first track. I opened with Deep End for the main stage set on Thursday, and the reaction was ridiculous. So I don't know, it's exceeded all expectations for me. Well, the feeling playing my music here is honestly crazy because everyone here respects house music so much. Where like in America, we have good fans and stuff, but people don't really know the scene as well. Where here, I can play a classic from the 80s, from the 90s, whatever, and the reaction is just as big from my new tracks coming out now. So it's nothing like being in this kind of community that actually respects good house music. I love it. So I just celebrated my Sweet 16. And then to finally be a 16-year-old in Europe right now is incredible. Everyone here is telling me happy birthday, even though it was weeks ago. It's funny though, it's funny. Everyone knows what's up. The boat party that I just played might have been the craziest party I've played in maybe forever. Because I got to the boat on a speedboat. So I got in like halfway when the boat was going on. I get on the boat, the crowd goes insane. And literally from start to finish, the energy was, I don't know, through the roof. You can tell right now, I'm sweaty right now because I just came off the boat party, but that was probably one of the most fun parties I've played.
Big shout out, John Summit, as mentioned, joining us for the very first time here at Defected Croatia. And yeah, very much enjoying himself. He's had a wonderful couple of years. Right now, broadcasting live, Defected Croatia, the Garden Resort in Tisno. Big shout out to everyone who's been with us all week so far, live on these Twitch sessions. If you do miss any of these sessions or come to join us a little bit late, do head over to the Defected YouTube channel and you can watch the entire sessions back there. One thing I always say is I love sitting where we are at the moment. Firstly, I can hear the main stage just to my right-hand side. Also, we're right by Artist Liaison. So constantly we've got artists just kind of passing by. It's great. Lovely place to be. Right, something that's become somewhat of a tradition here at the festival. Every single year, we'll have our garage sessions stage. This year, we welcome Todd Edwards, who absolutely tore the place to bits. But let's catch up on some clips from Sam Divine absolutely rocking it. Yeah, Sam rocking it at the Olive Grove yesterday. So if I've been talking about the different stage names and you're not quite sure, the Olive Grove for me, it's always such a great stage. Tends to be a little bit left, a little bit different from the rest of the stages. Sam Divine rocking it just yesterday, mixing it up, garage, drum and bass. Yeah, we enjoyed that. Another set that took place yesterday was the legendary Todd the God Edwards. We had a little catch up just yesterday on this very sofa, and here's what went down. We've had some wonderful conversations this week and we've caught up with some wonderful people. But we now have a legend beyond legends.
Who? Oh, me.
Sat right next to me on our famous sofa. Todd the God, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm very wired right now. My set's in 30 minutes.
I know, you're on soon.
Yes.
When did Todd the God start?
I would say probably mid-90s. And it was kind of funny because originally, one of the other legends was Todd the God. Todd Terry is the original Todd the God. So then they started calling me that. So I was like, I felt a little weird at first because he's Todd the God, but I'm not going to turn down the title.
Who's going to turn that down?
No, I'm not going to turn it down.
Title?
No, yeah, exactly.
It's your very first time here at Defected Croatia?
No, well, second time here.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I got to play before the apocalypse happened with the pandemic.
So 2019 you were here?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back after so long away from the decks?
I'm as you can tell, I'm very wired, and I love the festival, so I'm very honored to be playing again. So yeah.
Wow. So one thing I want to touch on very first.
Yes.
There's a video that just keeps resurfacing.
Yeah.
Of you from back in the day,
yeah.
And I think at the time you're wearing the t-shirt.
Yeah, like the one I have on now. Yeah.
There we go. Here we go.
Defected release. Buy it on the Defected website. No,
you're wearing the t-shirt,
yeah.
And you have this real moment in London. Can you take us back to where that was? Do you remember the club? Do you remember the moment? Were you expecting that reaction?
It was in Rumford, and it was the first major gig I played in front of a UK audience, and it was on New Year's Day, DJ EZ's 4x4 gig. And, I was so nervous. I had stage fright for years, so I never DJ'd in my 20s. It was like, yeah, I could have cleaned up in my 20s, but I just was more of a producer. So, I knew that people knew who I was and that they had a lot of admiration, but to feel a bunch of 1,500 to 2,000 people screaming when you're playing your first record and then your second record and third record, I never felt anything like it before. So
where did it come from? Like the way you chop records up and chop samples up, still to today, there's no one else that does what you did for all of those records. It's such a signature sound. when you were making so many of those records, who was influencing you at the time?
Originally the idea of cutting up samples or vocal samples comes from the other legend MK, because his Nightcrawlers remix that blew up, you know, it sounded like it was saying something that wasn't saying anything, and I love that concept. So your first thing when you're first producing is to imitate the people that you admire the most. So I was like imitating MK, trying to imitate Masters at Work and whatnot. But then I started to evolve it. I listened to stuff outside of dance music, like Enya, she would use her voice as vocals. Or use her vocals as like musical elements.
Melodies.
Yeah, melodies and stuff. So what I did is I started to use that concept in dance music, like instead of just using the vocal as a hook, use it as the musical elements as well. So it started to take its own direction, and I think that's where I kind of developed my own sound and not just sound like I'm imitating MK. You know?
Wow,
So-
it's funny you mentioned MK because he tells a story that he made the record Burning, which was obviously huge.
Yeah.
But he had no idea how big the record was.
Yeah.
It's pre-internet. The record is huge in the UK, getting played all over, but he had absolutely no idea. When you were putting these records out, did you know how popular these records were in the UK?
The only inkling I had that I knew, well, first of all, was the late DJ Camacho, who would play at the Sound Factory bar, and he was a big supporter of my work, and he came back from England, and he's like, you're big in England, you know? And it's like, so I knew from that, and then, you know, obviously I started getting remix work. So you know from the work that's coming in that people are interested in you, and also stuff was charting on like DJ Magazine. I'd see the, you know, so I knew I was that, but like, you know, you never feel the intensity until you're in front of an audience, and that's definitely something you can't get unless you're performing as a DJ, I would say. So.
Did you find that you had more love in the US or the UK?
No, the UK. I mean, I'm just Todd. You know, I was Todd living in my parents' house in a bedroom. You know, but, you know, I wouldn't get recognized. I did get recognized. It's kind of a cool thing to be actually visually recognized by people on the streets, and that was quite. I didn't get an ego from it, but it was really cool. So.
We're obviously looking forward to you DJing tonight as well. But just recently, I've been seeing your face a lot more, and we've seen you over a few covers of magazines here in the UK, and this whole new connection with Defected has kind of come about. And I've always found that there's so many records, if you go into your archives, that not a lot of them are accessible, but soon that's going to change.
Yes.
So have you got a rough kind of plan, or give people an idea as to what the new relationship is with Defected?
Well, Defected is managing my back catalog, so it's like over 140 tracks that were not available, because basically I bought my masters back from my records and I sat on them, which you would think it would have been smart to maybe release it in 2014 after I won a Grammy, but I wasn't ready to do anything with it. And I'm actually glad I waited, because I would have probably self-released, and that might have done okay. But the thing about being part of Defected is being able to introduce it into a whole new audience of younger generations, because you know, a lot of fans are, you know, I've grown up with my music, you know, like I'll have people come up and be like, my father loves your music. It's like, I want to get the persons and, you know, the younger generation. So I think I have an opportunity through Defected's audience, you know. So.
Which is perfect. I mean, we spoke about it before we came on air today. In the UK, we've got the likes of AJ Tracy and H. They're making garage records again that are doing stuff in the charts. Like, are you... I know you are, but you're super active in the studio still. What's kind of next production-wise for you?
I mean, during the whole quarantine, I've like finished an album's worth of material, and you know, actually there's like 30 tracks that are pretty much all done. So I mean, there's a lot of garage. I've been also writing and singing as well, and writing for other artists.
I forget. I see you with a microphone. I see you singing behind the decks as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the idea is to try to be a triple threat and show people that I can write and sing as well. I mean, a lot of people don't know that I sang, because I sang on Face to Face, the Daft Punk thing, and people are like, I didn't know you sang that. Like 30 years later, I didn't know you sang that. And it was me. So
wow. Lastly, before we go today, there's been a legendary series that's been released on Defected throughout the years. The House Masters compilation, Frankie Knuckles, David Morales. There's a whole lineage of amazing
Masters
music
at Work, Todd Terry,
as well.
Yamuta Swing.
I mean, I'm lucky enough to have access to the server, so I can look at all of this music. How does it feel to be releasing music on there, and how did you kind of collate that music, and how did you decide which music you wanted to include on that compilation?
Well, basically, I think the idea is like figuring out what tracks had the most impact in the UK, because obviously it's a celebration of like almost like a historical celebration, more so than just the present. So, you know, I mean, there's tracks on there like Shut the Door and Save My Life, and, you know, I did things like Alabama Blues, and, you know, it's so really just going for the remixes and the tracks that stood out amongst the rest. I'm honestly, like, you could tag that off the bucket list to be part of the legends. I mean, like I said, I still idolize Masters at Work and Todd Terry and MK, and like, so to be amongst them.
Wow.
I mean, what is that? You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, I'm considered a legend, so it's an amazing feeling.
Todd, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You've been amazing. I know you need to run off now. You have a set in.
Yes, yeah,
about 15 minutes.
You're actually cutting into it right now.
I know. We'll let you go. Thank you for joining us.
No,
guys.
it's a pleasure.
And guys, once again, Todd, the God, live with us here, Defected Croatia. Yeah, big shout out to the Don. Having the most fun just yesterday, and it was so good having a catch up as well. It's my first time meeting Todd and having those kind of conversations. I thought it was amazing. I keep saying we've got lots of artists passing us by at the moment. Breakbot just passing by at the moment as well. The guys played such a good set just yesterday on the beach. But yeah, as I mentioned, Todd the God Edwards, wonderful catching up, and it always fascinates me. These guys were producing and making these records in the 90s. They had no idea how these records were going down and how they were impacting UK crowds at the time until he kind of came over and played. Right, coming out of that and then going into this, a resident for Defected Records. He's put out a lot of wonderful music on the label as well. Here's some clips from David Penn.
You gotta believe in the fire that's in your soul, so come on and stand up. That I can stand up, that I can live freely. So I gotta take a stand. Stand up. If you're a believer and believe that you can stand up, that you can live freely. Everybody, let's dance. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Everybody, let's dance.
Yeah, and there we have it, David Penn playing live as well. Killing it on the main stage, Olive Grove just yesterday. Really enjoyed that session. Still to come today, the main man himself, the Shapeshifters. We're going to be playing you some highlights, some clips from his set last night. And I'm going to give you some nuggets of information about that as well, because it's quite interesting about some of the records that he finally got to play. But just yesterday, I had a catch up with the man from NY, Todd Terry. He absolutely rocked it on the beach stage just yesterday, and it's been a while since I've seen Todd. He's still got it. Check this out.
This is America. This is America. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Look how I'm living now. Police be tripping now. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. I gotta carry 'em. Yeah, yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, yeah, this is gorilla. Yeah, yeah, I'ma go get your bag. Yeah, yeah, or I'ma get your pad. Yeah, yeah, I'm so cold like yeah. Yeah, I'm so dull like yeah. Woo. We gon' blow like yeah. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Look how I'm geeking now. I'm so fitted. I'm on Gucci. I'm so I'm gon' get it. Ooh. This is sell it. Ooh. Yeah. On my Kodak. Black. Ooh. Know that. Yeah. Ooh. Get it. Yeah. Ooh. Get it. 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Contraband. I got the plug on who a hawker. Whoa. They gonna find you like This is America. 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 This is America.
What you waiting for? Put your back in it. Just a little more. Throw your waist in it now. Tell your body you're 10. Walk it hard and long. When you finish that, how are you go downtown? Go down, go down, go down. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Go down, go down, go down, go down. Come on, come on, come on, come on. What you waiting for? Put your back in it. Just a little more. Throw your waist in it now. Tell your body you're 10. Walk it hard and long. When you finish that, how are you go downtown? Go down, go down, go down. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Go down, go down, go down, go down. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
I know I keep returning to it about where we're set up at the moment, but literally, as I've said, the main stage is just on my right-hand side, and Jaden Thompson DJing on the classic stage at the moment. Yeah, as much as I enjoy doing this show, I can't wait to get over there and enjoy some of the action on that stage. Right, as I said, just caught up on some highlights from Todd Terry just yesterday. Of course, he's a dope producer, but also puts records together so well. Big shout out to you, Todd, of course. Right, I said just a moment ago, can you imagine what it feels like for an artist to spend all of the time and the money producing amazing music? The entire process of making a record, you make it, you release it, and you don't get to play it out in the club. You simply just get to hear it on your speakers, on your TVs, etc. The Shapeshifters put out a couple of singles. One was Finally Ready, the other, You Ain't Love. He got to play these at the festival in front of crowds for the very first time, and the reaction was quite simply out of this world. Here is the Shapeshifters on the main stage.
Thank you. All right. You guys feeling good? We warming up? Yeah. This one called You Ain't Love. Last night I saw you, started on my TV screen. I
Yes, Croatia!
all the love to the Shapeshifters. As mentioned, You Ain't Love, Tenny Tinks. Yeah, it felt good. And finally Ready as well. I'm not sure if I can tell you this, I hope so, but he cried. Very first time he got to play this in front of a live audience. He produced a record with Billy Porter, and it made the Shapes cry on stage when he saw the reaction. So yeah, very special moments right here at Defected Croatia. It's day 5, might be day 6. I don't even know where we are at the moment. The only thing I can confirm is that tomorrow is our final show. It feels sad. It's gone by really fast. It's going to be a big show tomorrow, so make sure you tuned in. We'll be live here once again, as you know, on the creakiest sofa in Croatia, 9 p.m. UK time. Big love to the Twitch family, and I'll see you tomorrow.